Hello, this is Dr. Mike, and I would like to welcome you to Management 300. And I think this is going to be an exciting course, not only because of the content, but also because of the current situation that we find ourselves in, where management principles are all the more important as we face the calamity that has come with the COVID-19 virus. And so I think you should find this quite an interesting course to talk about. As I begin to think about preparing this introduction for you, I wonder how many of us really think behind the scenes when we walk into a business, or we work for a business, or we work in manufacturing or whatever, about what really goes on in managing that company. Times like we're currently in, it really stresses, and it lets us realize how important the behind the scenes stuff really is. It's easy for us to look at the company we work for and say, well, why don't they do this, or why don't they do that, or why don't they give us this, or why don't they give us that? And so it's much more difficult to run a company and keep it solvent, and money just doesn't rain down from the skies, and we don't have money trees in our backyard, so everything costs us money. You think about the $3 trillion that was given in government assistance to the people of America, and we think, well, we deserve that, or we earned that, or whatever. But you think about the fact that your grandchildren will be repaying that money with interest, and that we are seriously mortgaging our grandchildren's futures to get $1,200, then it takes on a much different perspective than we have today. So management, if you aspire to be in a management position, you really do have to change your mindset somewhat from being a worker who is taken care of and who is paid, and who really, as a worker, you should be mindful of your company's success and all the things that go with that. But at the same time, you need to really be on point as a manager, because you're one of the key factors that make your company successful or not successful. So as we move through this introduction, I want to just mention several things to you in the way of introduction. We've talked about the current economic situation that we're in, and every one of us is affected. You might still be working, because we do have frontline people that are very essential to the operation of the country, but the rest of the country is at a dead stop. We are at a standstill in manufacturing. If you looked at your grocery shelves, you realize that there is a shortage of meat and many other things that will impact us more so in the coming months. When we talk about articles where farmers have had to slaughter millions of hogs because they had no market for them, and because the packing houses are closed, that may not affect you immediately, but it's going to affect you 3 and 6 months down the road, when that cycle is just not there to reproduce or to buy or to cook or whatever. So we are living in a case study, if you will, that is going to be in the history books in 10 to 15 years. And it's going to be a part of your life and something you remember. I remember 9/11. I remember all the way back to the Kennedy assassination. I was a piece of those histories, just like you will be a piece of this one. So in this course, we want to talk about how to manage successful companies that are on the cutting edge as we get our economy back up and running and moving forward. How are we going to do that? We all know great companies. I was thinking about examples of that when I was thinking about making this tape. I am very much appreciative of a company like Chick-fil-A. That's a service company, but this COVID problem did not catch them without a plan, and they were probably one of the smoothest operating and changing over to drive-through and all the other things that they've done. But you'd have to know that company the way I do. I served on the board with the original founder of that company years ago. Great human being, great person, takes care of his employees, sends almost every kid that works at Chick-fil-A gets a scholarship for college. Those things cost, if you will. They're not something we deserve, something we earn, but something that he felt was an important part of his business model and his worldview to take care of and educate young people. And businesses have these worldviews and these models. Some of them are not so good, some of them are better, but successful companies normally have a corporate view of taking care of their biggest capital investment, which is their employees. And so those are the better ones. I mean, Starbucks or Chick-fil-A, both of those would be great examples of that. But one day, if you're taking this course as a management course, you're going to be in a driver's seat somewhere at some level as a manager. And you're going to have to understand the pieces that make a company work successfully and survive in all kinds of economic shutdowns and troubles as we go through life. I was just to give you perspective, I went back recently and started with my birthday in 1957 and jotted down all the historical problems and earth-shaking events that I've been through in 62 years. And you look back and say, well, we've made it through all of those. And that kind of gives you perspective. We'll make it through this one. And as we do, hopefully we'll see, learn lessons that we missed in this one. And we have missed lessons. Our government has missed lessons and things they could have done to been prepared for this. And this is one of the worst times to be unprepared. And so we kind of see how that works. In the coming 3 weeks, we're going to talk about basically 3 foundations: strategy, interactive design, leadership. How's your company in each of those 3 things? There has to be a concerted strategy of profitability and progression and process. All these things are words that you'll become very familiar with. This is a capstone project, so you'll be writing a paper, and at the 300 level of management, you should be beyond the freshman level English writing problems. But I will go over that and give you some resources to help you in your writing. I'm here for that. And I encourage you to reach out to me. You have my phone number and you have my email address. And the only dumb questions are ones you don't ask. I've worked for 3 of the largest international companies in the world and in management. And so I know something about the subject that we're talking about. And I encourage you to communicate. That is one of the major keys of being in management is communication. You cannot hide in the closet. You cannot push that off on someone else. We have seen that in our government recently. The poor level of communication to the American people has made the problem worse. They are managers. I mean, they're the top of the heap as far as management is concerned. You should evaluate their leadership skills based on how well they communicate, what kind of strategies they have. Every manager gets evaluated and gets to be given a performance rating based on their skills. And you and I are here to look at this case study, to learn from it. And we'll be coming back to this time and again over the next 3 weeks when we talk about the importance of this course. And I hope you understand the things you learn here will be invaluable to you as you move forward as a manager, as a business owner, as a boss, whatever it is you will title yourself. But I think it will be very much important to you. So I look forward to seeing you next as you engage this week in week 1. If you have questions, please let me know. I'm more than happy to talk to you. Thank you.